Hi, this is Molly, and welcome to our video on the Gemini New Moon. This is happening on May 22nd, 2020 at 10:38 Pacific Daylight Savings Time, so please adjust for your location on the planet. Now, the Sun and the Moon are conjunct once a month, and it is a time of renewal of energy, a new force, a new alignment between both the feminine and the masculine, a sense of a reunion as they embark on a new start. So during the Gemini new moon, we have the Sun and the Moon meeting up at 2 degrees of Gemini in 4 minutes. And you'll probably notice how in this chart there are many twos, right? So not only the Sun and the Moon at 2 degrees, the date of the moon being May 22nd, 2020. And then as we look around the chart, a number of planets are at 20. So there's significance to this because Gemini is one of the signs about duality. So there's a strong theme of duality here, which is doing something twice, looking at it from two sides or two angles. Be aware of duplicity, which is someone saying one thing and doing the other. Of course, be aware of that in yourself. That could be playing both sides, so to speak. The energy of the two is that you receive and then you give. You sit with something and then you decide what to do. Gemini rules the fingers, hands, arms, lungs, as well as the two sides of the brain. So this will be a new moon that you'll want to give yourself time to make decisions and to sit with something. And that's how you can operate from a place of higher consciousness. Gemini is typically very fast moving. It wants a lot of things going on. It can be restless. It likes possibilities. It likes choices. But I'm feeling like this is a time to really be more intentional with what you do and say. And that could require you to, for example, write a rough draft of a text message before you send it. Think about it, what it says, what's being communicated, and then decide if you need to edit it or make it smaller. So this is important because there's a lot of energy going on during this new moon. So not only are the Sun and the Moon busy, but they're ruled by Mercury, also in Gemini, conjunct Venus at 20 degrees, retrograde. So this is being able to say the right words. Venus adds in a level of loveliness, the ability to communicate well, to say something in a nicer or kinder fashion. So that's a lovely little support there for very fast-moving Gemini energy that will just be blunt and say something just to say it. Now, what we're also seeing, however, is that both Mercury and Venus are squared by this Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces. And if you watched my Scorpio full moon video about the May 7th Scorpio full moon, I said how you could view this Neptune as God, Source, Spirit, the universe, an angel, your spirit guides, asking you to allow something to change and shift, to be removed, to be taken out of what you think it should be. So see this as being on your side. You know, it's like you lose $5, but you gain $20, that kind of a thing. And you can step back from the mental process or the mental solutions and allow Spirit to keep working here on your behalf. So that's an important energy here. It also means there's a lot of change during this new moon. There's a lot of restlessness. There's a lot of the mutable signs. So the Sun and the Moon in Gemini, Venus and Mercury in Gemini, Neptune in Pisces, and Mars now in Pisces. These are the mutable signs of change and things shifting and having choices and movement and maybe not feeling very firm on your feet. Now, we do have some support because the Sun and the Moon at 2 degrees of Gemini are trining Saturn, who's now retrograde, at 1 degree Aquarius 50 minutes, so nearly 2 degrees. So this is a very supportive trine that's helping with what you can commit to, what you know is true. This provides some solid energy. So you'd want to look at where this Saturn, this transiting Saturn is in your astrology chart, and it's supporting the ideas of the new moon, the new ideas, the new possibilities, what you want to try now, and connect 2 degrees of Gemini to about 2 degrees of Aquarius. And that's where you're going to have something supportive show up, a development, an opportunity. Saturn is associated with the father figures, a boss, employer, someone in charge, an authority figure. This can be a mentor. Saturn is who we look up to, someone who has experience and who can guide. So there's a guidance energy that comes through that this younger Gemini energy can benefit from. So Gemini is actually associated with our youth and our peers, say elementary school, and when you first are making friends and doing extracurricular activities and getting involved. There's a stabilizing energy here from a mature or experienced presence, and it helps solidify what's true for you and make some clear decisions, even when things can feel foggy, which is showing up as both Mercury and Venus square Neptune. Now, another thing to look at is how we also have the sun and the moon being squared still by this Mars at 6 degrees of Pisces. Now, this is still in play because they're about 4 degrees apart. It's not too tight of an orb, but it's plans changing, and it's Mars removing something that you thought was going to happen. It's saying that no, not that. So again, stay open, stay flexible. People are changing, lives are changing, our daily lives are changing, and it still can be confusing, all right? So keep in mind, too, that the Pisces energy is actually the coronavirus. And so now with Mars in Pisces, we're not done. There's still things to be sorted out through May and into June. So that's going to certainly affect the opening of businesses, the return to communities or to school, Gemini being schools. It's still going to be very hazy and uncertain, but you can navigate it by trusting what's right for you and trusting what you feel is the best way to take care of yourself and your family. In some ways, this can be a very busy and active Gemini new moon because the Gemini energy, being restless, is looking for new stimuli, information, and it's helping us get clearer on how to live our lives now, because Gemini is our daily activities, what we do on a daily basis, where we go, what we put our energy towards, what we have to think about and plan and sit with. So we're getting some support around this new day, the new daily patterns and what you need to take care of. But it's still going to be shifting. It's still not solid in May. And then coming up in June and July, we have 3 eclipses. So we're just needing to take it one day at a time and to find what is good in the current moment. It's like that energy of, okay, for today, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I know that tomorrow it might look different. But look at what you need in your world and what has been clearer to you over the past number of months. Look at what you have come to understand is best for the long term as well. So it's a very interesting Gemini new moon. Changes and options are happening. Nothing is quite solid or clear, but we are getting some new energy about what we need to do in a day. And we're also trusting the overall timing of it all, because there's a lot we still don't know that's still being sorted out. So I hope this has given you some good things to think about in your life and in your astrology chart, and that it supports you in making the best decisions for right now. I'll be back with another video for the upcoming June lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And thank you so much for those of you who also listen to my podcast every Monday and Wednesday. And I also appreciate your likes, your subscribes, and your comments here on my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me, friends, and I'll be back here soon.